how do you get internet on the road?
What's the best way to save money? And is Starlink still the best answer? Is there something better, faster, or cheaper?
Or what?
Yeah.
We share how we get internet on the road and
have some great tips for you too. You can find this week's podcast at our home on the web at StressLessCamping.com, where we also have deals, discounts, a whole internet resource center, and so much more.
We really appreciate your likes, your shares, and all that stuff. And thank you for joining us for, what episode is this? 328
of
StressLess Camping.
I'm Tony.
I'm Peggy.
And we're two RV industry veterans who travel part-time
in this Rockwood Mini Light,
looking to share big adventures and help you with great tips,
tricks,
and discounts. And we're on the web.
We are on the web pretty much everywhere we go. Now, we are sitting in our camper right now. We're not technically camping. We are at home, but there's some construction going on in our house. It's very noisy in there.
Yes.
So hopefully you can't hear that. But we love sitting in the camper anyway. We've got a great view of our yard.
Yeah, the desert.
The desert. And we are going to talk about how we get internet, whether we're at home or away.
But first, let's talk about what we talk about every week, and that's our friends at ABC Upfitters. Right now at our house, we have another person with the same mini light, a 2506, camping in our yard with a system from ABC Upfitters. And I said, we have a 30 amp plug. And they're like, I don't need no stinking 30 amp plug.
Hi, Steve and Kathy.
Yeah, hi, Steve and Kathy. But also, we were at Balloon Fiesta this week. And there were so many RVs around us running generators. It smelled bad. It was noisy. It was kind of a little bit not so great.
We've had other groups that we do big rallies that have embraced the quiet off-grid camping, and we're hoping that Balloon Fiesta will begin to do the same, so that there's it's all off-grid, but if there could be a section where it's all solar, so we don't have any generators around us, then we'll go back.
And Patrick and Wendy were there too, and they had their system from ABC
That's
Upfitters.
Right.
So lots of ABC Upfitters systems at Balloon Fiesta. Now we just need to get us all together.
Right.
But what we all shared was that we were off-grid camping. We were there for a good number of days. Some are staying the whole event, some not. And we were quiet, enjoying full power of the sun. And we ran our air conditioner just about every day.
Yeah.
So it was terrific. If you want a system that's reliable and quiet and just serves you well, our friends at ABC Upfitters can help you with our quality master volt systems that just work together and just work. How do I find those guys?
Well, let's see. You could try calling 574-333-3225.
That's 574-333-3225. Or if you're here at StressLessCamping.com, there's a link below and you can see interviews and look at our system and all of that. So whatever it is, if you're looking for a high-quality, reliable system that just works, the answer is ABC Upfitters.
It is. So what's the answer for internet?
It depends. Don't you love that? Oh,
I love that answer.
Yeah. Well, first of all, not everyone's internet needs are the same,
this
obviously,
is very
right?
true.
I mean, some people, first of all, I'm going to address something. A lot of people go, why do you need internet? You're going camping.
Right.
And I know some people whose jobs are such that if they have a problem at work, they can address it maybe from an email or something like that. And once they're past that, they're just good to go.
Right.
So having some access to the internet is important enough that if they didn't have it, they couldn't get away.
Right. And for those of you who go to get away, to be away from the internet, fine, skip this week.
No, don't do that.
But come back next week for sure. Well, if they don't need internet, they're not going to be that interested.
Well, I think a lot of people do.
But and even if and even if you don't need to work and you don't need to be connected, it's a little disconcerting nowadays to be somewhere where you just have absolutely no connectivity even if you're just there to disconnect, because, you know, what if there's an emergency or something?
Yeah, that's the thing. So some people like us, we're uploading videos and audio, we're managing our website. Like, we need to be very connected with pretty decent quality service pretty much all the time, which is, you know, it is what it is. That's the life we've chosen. Some people just might need to address an email or whatever, maybe post pictures of your campsite on Facebook, whatever it happens to be, and your needs are pretty small.
Right.
And some people might want to watch videos like the StressLess Camping podcast YouTube channel.
If you're camping on a Thursday, you're going to need that access.
Well, duh. But the first thing I would do is figure out, okay, how much content or how much internet do you need?
Right.
And you can measure the amount of data that you need and how fast it has to be, right? If it's email, it doesn't really have to be all that fast. If it's watching videos, yeah, you're going to need more speed and more capability. So I guess step one, figure out what you need. And that's kind of the same thing with the solar system, right? It's like, figure out what you want to do.
When people ask about portable power, well, which one do I need? Well, what are you going to use it for, right?
So we've tried all kinds of different gadgets, and that's what we'll kind of share is our experience with those gadgets and what we're using now to come to you from this trailer. So the first thing I want to share is there's a lot of noise about this company, TravlFi, and we got this little Journey Go hotspot and tried it out for a couple months, whatever it was, for a good while. The selling point of this is that it can theoretically go on AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile networks. I did not find that to be the case with this. It did go on T-Mobile, sometimes on, was it AT&T? It seemed to go between two, but mostly stuck with T-Mobile. And the speeds were slow. They were, now if you're doing video streaming, they may have been fast enough. So this might be TravlFi. I shouldn't say this because a lot of you are listening and not watching. This is a TravlFi Journey Go mobile Wi-Fi hotspot. So it's like a little puck, for lack of a better description, that uses cell connectivity to get you internet.
We would show it to you, but we've hidden it in a drawer somewhere. We don't know where we put it.
Yeah, I lost it. But I have the box. And it looks like, if you're watching this, it looks like the picture on the top of the box.
That's about the same size. Well, a little bit bigger. Maybe
Anyway,
4 or 5 inches.
The good thing about this service is that you can, TravlFi service, is that you can turn it on and off. It's not that expensive, but until you start getting into the unlimited plans. So the plans on this are, there are 5G plans that are $129 for unlimited and $159 for premium unlimited. And there are 4G plans that start at $19 a month. So you can do, you know, if you don't need much internet and you want to be able to shut it off and turn it on, it might be a good solution. I wasn't that impressed with it, but again, consider that we use the heck out of the internet.
Right.
If I were just doing email, well, let's back up. You could just use your stinking phone, right?
Right.
I mean, so we have, the way we do things is we have an AT&T phone, a Verizon phone, and then a T-Mobile hotspot type device. So in theory, if there is a cell signal wherever we are, we've got access to that.
Right.
My Verizon plan, my phone is Verizon. My Verizon plan says it's unlimited, and all of those unlimited plans seem to be unlimited until they're not. Right. And they say, oh, you get this much premium data until, you know, the end, and then we slow you down if the network traffic is heavy. The network, it always happens, right? So the phone, when it's fast, when my Verizon phone is fast, it is ooh la la. I have seen up to 1,200 megabits down, which absolutely blew my mind.
Right.
I mean, I was like, holy smokes, this is like having fiber optic cable to my phone.
Yeah.
So it was impressive. Usually it's still, even when it's not like, oh my gosh, impressive, usually when it's decently impressive, it's still like 200 to 300 megabits down, which I think is impressive. Same thing with Peggy's phone. Peggy's phone is the AT&T phone. Not as fast, but it seems to be pretty good in most places we go camping. Except, of course, there are times when there's no cell signal at all. Or it's pretty weak.
Yeah.
And then we've had experience with cell phone boosters, but not great experience with them. Some travel trailers do have, or some RVs do have Wi-Fi antenna on the roof, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
If you're yelling, use the one on the roof, just give us a minute.
But there are also external amplifiers that will, if there is a cell signal available, they will grab that and boost it inside the RV.
Right.
And we have had that.
Yeah.
And we didn't like it. Ours did not work for beans. But I've heard that, this was years ago, and things keep getting better.
Yeah,
so.
I think kind of one of our first solutions was just to get that external cell phone booster and boost whatever cell we had.
Right.
And then there were places we went where we did, well, way back when we only had AT&T cell phone service. Yeah,
that's true.
Right? And so that's why we kind of branched out, and Tony got on the Verizon cell phone service, and we got the hotspot on the T-Mobile cell phone service. So we weren't relying on one cell service. We had all those different cells to rely on.
Right. So that's, we talked, I think, about TravlFi. And like I say, the pluses are you can turn it on and off. You can buy data as you need. You can pick plans. But I was not super impressed with
the connectivity.
It was not very fast. And I know they also offer better devices. So this was the TravlFi device that we have is their least expensive device. And as with any radio, which is what all this basically is, the better the antenna, the better the connectivity. So the fact that it's just a teeny little puck with the antenna inside the puck is not going to be that great, which is also true of your cell phone.
Yeah.
Right? Your cell phone is a device with a tiny little antenna in it. And
buried somewhere in all those other things.
Right, and all that tech. So then we decided to try this, which is the FRVA, formerly FMCA, Tech Connect product. This is, the one we chose, is a T-Mobile based product that is unlimited, and it's $60 a month. And I forgot, I think it's $35 for the device, if I'm not mistaken. You can turn it down, but not necessarily off for periods of time. We'll put a link.
Down meaning less data per month?
You can turn it down, like park it, sort of, kind of.
So it doesn't work, but it doesn't shut off.
Yeah, I believe that's the case. This device had actually done the T-Mobile hotspot, which is what this is, from FRVA or FMCA, if you can't change like I can, actually worked pretty darn well. In fact, we bought this at Perry, Georgia, the T-Mobile from FRVA. We bought it at their convention in Perry, Georgia, and
in March of this year.
Yeah, and parked our Starlink, like just turned it off.
Yeah.
Until we got to Indiana, at which point we had basically no connectivity from the T-Mobile device. And so then I lit up Starlink again. Well, I realized that, then we got to Pennsylvania with Bill, who also has this T-Mobile device.
Yep.
And he was like, what do you mean it's not working? It's working great for me.
His was working great, and ours was not.
So I reached out to FRVA, and they're like, oh yeah, and they flipped some switch, and it was back great again.
Which we maybe could have done in Indiana and not put the Starlink up, but we didn't think to check then because we just figured, well, in this place, that cell signal isn't very strong. Because, that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
All over the place. Well, and part of the problem with, okay, fine, we'll just use Starlink. Well, when we were in Pennsylvania, we were camped among many, many, many trees. And we couldn't find a Starlink pathway, whatever. The Starlink antenna couldn't find Starlink. And so we couldn't get Starlink, and we couldn't get that. And so we were a little concerned because we were there for quite some time, and we can't be disconnected for
Right.
that long.
So the funny thing is, after Bill said, "What do you mean mine is working great?" I reached out to FRVA, and they reset something, and then the T-Mobile hotspot was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's how we did all of our Pennsylvania stuff, is with the T-Mobile hotspot. This is the FRVA's plan is $60 a month, and if you're a member of FRVA, they also have some associated T-Mobile phone plans for your mobile phone that are incredible in price. So I thought this was T-Mobile from FRVA was a very good solution and worked very, very well. And until that little glitch, it was not an issue, and the performance was incredible.
But in the future, if that starts to have a problem, we'll verify that it's actually no signal and not that something needs to get reset.
Right. But I was amazed at my opinion of T-Mobile when we got this and hadn't used it is that it's going to be okay in places, but not that great. No, this T-Mobile device, and especially if you're not, well, we'll have an article about this with pictures of these devices. But it's like a candy bar. It looks like a kind of a computer candy bar.
It's kind of a cell phone size.
Yeah, it's like a cell phone size. I figured, it's not going to be that great. Now, the advantage of this T-Mobile device is that it's 12 volt and it has a battery. Mm-hmm. So you can run it, you charge it with your car's power port. Some of you call that a cigarette lighter. I understand that. But you can charge this with your car's power port. It has a battery and it lasts, I don't know, about a day.
Or any USB. Right?
Yeah, any USB. Yeah. I mean, you could charge this with a portable power station, whatever. So that's an advantage, right? You don't have to have shore power to make this little T-Mobile device work. And so I do like that. So performance was good. Price $60 a month. I thought that was fair for truly unlimited.
Truly unlimited.
I mean, there's not those data caps like on some plans. And FRVA is a legitimate. Some of these companies are questionable how they're getting the internet in terms of their contract with the cell phone carriers. FRVA is a legitimate company dealing with T-Mobile. So I have zero complaints about the FRVA's T-Mobile system. Yet we still switched. Because I'm a nerd. And we're here for you.
That's right. We're doing this all for you.
Yeah, legitimately.
Well, we are.
So our trailer, like many, many, many newer RVs, comes with what looks like a dog dish upside down on the roof from Winegard. And there are various models of this. And the reason RV companies put these up there is they have TV antenna, but they also have a Wi-Fi antenna, and they have cell phone antennas. Whew. So, yeah, it's all under this black dome that's up on the roof. Well, I think they have white ones too. So, anyway it's under this dog dish on the roof. And you might go, ooh, well, what's that? Well, if you don't upgrade anything, it's basically just TV antenna, right? That's all you have access to. However, Winegard, the company that makes this, and I believe I think King makes a similar system, but Winegard offers an internal device that uses these antenna to take advantage of them. So, for example, you could buy, there are 4G and 5G versions of this internal gateway router is what they call it. Okay. The 4G, the router itself is $350. At least it was last I checked. The 5G is $799. Yeah. Which is like, wow, that's not cheap. And I had been hesitant about, there's the nerd in me who's like, hey, I've got all these antenna on the roof. I should be able to use them. Yeah. And then there's for $800? Are you kidding?
Now, let me ask you to stop for just a second. You probably already said the amount that it cost to buy the FRVA thing was...
I think it's $35 is your initial commitment. We will put a link to their Tech Connect website.
And then we talked a little bit about Starlink and that initial.
Well, wait. We're getting to Starlink.
But I want to make sure that we at some point give a price comparison.
We will.
Okay, sorry.
We'll even make a chart.
He did all the notes for this one.
I made a chart. There'll be one in the show notes. I basically talked to Winegard and I'm like, look, can I try one of these just to see what it's like? So I did get one of their 5G routers to put in the RV. So the way you put this thing in, it's permanently mounted to the roof or ceiling rather of your RV, and it's essentially on the underside of those antenna. And there is a series of wires that come down from that antenna. You hook it to the router. You also have to hook it to 12-volt power. But like in our Rockwood, they just have the wires right there. I mean, it's already ready to just plug right in. Well, you wire them right on. Push in the antenna pin, and then screw this thing to the roof, and you're bing, bang, boom, you're good to go. I will say, a few weeks ago, I'll put a link to that in the show notes too, we talked to Winegard about their sensors system. So they have like motion sensors, water sensors, temperature sensors, all this stuff. That also works with the 5G gateway and I believe the 4G gateway. So that's another feature that you can take advantage of if you choose to upgrade the gateway inside your RV.
If you don't know whether you have this, you haven't looked on your roof to see if there's an upside down dog bowl, look on your ceiling, and somewhere on your ceiling is probably just like a flat cover that says Winegard or says something on it, and it doesn't really make any sense. No air comes out of it, no light comes out of it. You're like, why is there this flat panel on the ceiling?
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Yeah, and I think it has a QR code too.
Okay.
To buy the device.
We don't know where we put ours after we replaced it, so we can't show you
but
the
we do
cover.
have a picture. So.
Yeah, we do have a picture. We'll show you the cover.
So anyway, so we install this. Winegard also has various cell plans. We chose the $99 a month unlimited plan. Now here's what I love about this system. And it's the system that we have chosen to use now.
Yeah.
Our plan, you could get various plans. Ours uses T-Mobile again. Ours is a 5G gateway. That gateway is always wired in because it's in part of the 12-volt system in your RV. So you don't have to recharge it. You don't have to plug it in. It's just up there and working. Then you sign up for one of their cell phone plans. Like I said, I thought, I'll try the $99 unlimited. And it's been fantastic. It has had the best speeds of any of the cell phone-based systems. So TravlFi, FRVA, and this Winegard router. It has had the best speeds. And that makes sense because the doggone antenna is up on the roof, right? So
the signal's not trying to get through the walls of the RV or the framework of the RV, really. And
you figure how little the antenna is in your phone or any of these portable 5G, any of these portable cell phone devices. It's a teeny little antenna. The Winegard one is up. There are two up on the roof, and they don't have to care how big they are, so they're great antenna. They are not boosted, so don't let someone tell you they are amplified antenna. They're just antenna.
Okay.
However, optimal placement of the antenna up on the roof, exposed, great large antenna, blah, blah, blah. So that system works well. I think the barrier to this is it's $800 for the 5G gateway, and that is not inexpensive.
Right. But if you are looking for a solution because you have to be connected, maybe I'm going to venture to say the next kind of most universally available signal is Starlink.
Right.
And that is also an initial expense, and it also doesn't run on 12 volt.
Well,
no, the new ones do. Our version does not run on 12 volt, so we also have to have our inverter on if we're going to use Starlink.
And for ours, which is the old Gen 2, I believe, antenna, it's a pig with power. I mean, no doubt about it. It loves power. The newer ones, like especially the smaller dish, doesn't have to move, so there's less complication. It can run on 12 volt power. It has definite advantages. Disadvantages, apparently, it's not as good as the larger dishes, which makes sense. Again, back to the better the antenna. What we found is that if there are a lot of trees or that kind of thing, Starlink really goes to heck. So it depends on where you camp and what you need. Something we do, our Starlink dish, is we don't mount it permanently to anything. So some people are like, oh, I'm going to put it on the roof of my vehicle,
Right,
RV.
right.
Well, if your RV is parked under trees, then you're kind of simply out of luck, right? So we put ours we have a long cable and ran a hole in the baggage door, so I can take the dish and put it way out at the edge of the campsite or up on a flagpole. We have an article about how we did that. So I recommend not permanently mounting the Starlink dish. And I know people go, well, what if somebody steals it, or what if somebody runs it over? That's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
But the Starlink dish is tied to your account, so if somebody steals it,
They've got nothing.
Yeah.
They've got a big plate that they can't do anything with.
pretty much. So I mean, of course, people do all kinds of goofy stuff, and I'm sure they steal them, but I don't think that's as big a concern as people think, and I'm sure there's a way to lock it up. I'm not too worried about it. We've had it for years. As I said, now ours is parked because this T-Mobile 5G T-Mobile system on the roof of our trailer has been fantastic.
Yeah.
Since we installed it, I have zero complaints about that system. And again, good antenna.
Yeah.
It's always hot because it's running off the trailer's power. It does not seem to use very much power. I can use it to monitor the temperature in the RV and water sensors and all these other sensors from Winegard.
Yeah, so that's the thing with who cares if it's always hot? Well, if we're going to use these Winegard sensors effectively, we want to be able to know. We don't want to be just sitting here knowing if a water sensor's going off or whatever. Like, that's the whole point of the kind of security ones, right? There's like if a door opens, you get an alert. Well, if you're sitting in the camper, you're going to know that the door opened anyway. Right. And so having the Wi-Fi always on is going to make those sensors always usable.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's an advantage. So you could use it to monitor the temperature in the RV, like if you have a pet. So that's an advantage of that Winegard system.
Yeah, even if you don't use the Winegard sensors, right? Like right now, we always have internet access in the camper, no matter where the camper is. So if we had previously had a Waggle or something, we'd have the Wi-Fi that the Waggle needs to transmit alerts to our phone wherever we are. So yeah, it's like having Wi-Fi always in the camper, even if we're not in it, is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm pleased with the performance. What I will say, I've seen more than a few bad reviews of that Winegard system, and I will say that it is fiddly to set up from the software side.
The sensors.
The software of the router itself.
The router.
It's not very intuitive. And I could see if you're not techie, that setting up the software, like getting the account set up and all that for that 5G gateway is not very intuitive.
Right.
In fact, I actually had to call tech support, and I'm like, what in the wide world of sports is this? And so, yeah, I could see some people are like, no, it doesn't work right. And it's fiddly. But once you get it dialed in, which only takes, you do it one time and you're done, it's great. And their tech support people are great. Mm-hmm. And the quality of the product, I think, is good, as it should be, for $800 stinking dollars.
Did you mention how much it costs?
It's $800 stinking dollars. But again,
once you have it, you have it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you bought it. Well, and then there's the $100 a month. Well, there are various plans that they have. So you pick based on what you need. Another thing that having that gateway router does is if you're in a campground, it can then take a Wi-Fi signal and broadcast it inside your RV, and it has a measure of security built in as well. However, campground Wi-Fi is generally horrible.
Yeah.
But it is, if you're in a campground with great Wi-Fi, you can now take advantage of that with some measure of security as well. So there's that. Okay, let's talk about Starlink.
Okay, let's.
Starlink is probably the best. Was the most game-changing way for mobile people like RVers to get on the internet, right? It doesn't care where it is. You just take the satellite dish that you get, that they call dishy, point it to the sky, fire it up, and it finds connectivity. And I know so many people who are in these remote, weird places where they're like, I can get great connectivity here. And that has been literally game-changing. Starlink, you have to buy the dish, and there's dishes. They have sales on these. You can buy used dishes, all of that. So you have to buy the device, then you have to buy the service. And the service right now, this is something that's frustrating about Starlink. They like to change their minds, I think, based on how good the bananas were in the coffee shop that morning. I don't know what it is.
No logical reasons whatsoever.
It's like, we're going to change our minds. The unlimited plan is $165 a month at this very moment. That will probably change.
By the time you hear this.
Right? They have now, it used to be you could turn off your account on Starlink and just pay nothing until you needed to turn it back on again, which I thought was neat. Now, it's depending on who you are and where you are and the bananas in the coffee shop. There are where it's $5 a month to have your account off, $0 and $10. What are you going to get? Who knows?
Who knows?
It's Starlink. I wouldn't want them to be planning my financial future, because it's like, ooh, we changed they have squirrel syndrome, right? Squirrel. So right now, for the most people, I think it's $10 a month to have your Starlink dish turned off to maintain your account. Apparently, Chris and Cherie from the Mobile Internet Resource Center have said that $10 a month, you do get slow data speeds, and you can buy more fast data speed should you need it. And they have a great video we'll link on what you can accomplish at that slow data speed, and it's really not bad.
Oh. So if you just want to check your email and you're paying $10 a month to Starlink, it might
be okay. Might be all you need.
Okay.
Of course, the challenge with Starlink is that if there are obstructions like trees. It can be reduced performance or zero performance.
And also clouds, is that right?
Yes, on a really lousy day we've had where it was like, I'm done. Well, you're not getting any internet, buddy. That's the challenge of those line of sight. And the way Starlink works is kind of neat. They have those constellations of satellites that fly over, and so it's a pretty neat system. It is not an inexpensive system. Now, one way that a lot of people are saving money with Starlink is they have the mobile plan, which is right now $165, or there's the residential plan. You can use the residential plan if you tolerate changing your address every time you move your RV.
And that's less expensive?
Oh, yeah. I forgot how much it's in the show notes.
So, real quick aside, but you might already have it again. I don't know what's in your notes. For a while, when we first moved to this house, our internet access to the house was a mobile-based system that was terrible.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get internet at our own house, and so we'd come home and put the Starlink up. So if you're in a place where you can't get any kind of other option at home, Starlink just being at home and being that kind of non-mobile version might be for all of you out there who aren't RVers. I don't know why you're watching, but if that's you, there's still that answer.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's the 50 gigabyte plan, which is $50 a month, and you can add more data as needed. And that might be, again, knowing what you need, and that might be the way to find out, right? You sign up for the 50 gig a month plan, and if you're like, I spent all this.
You run out in a week.
Yeah, which would be us.
Yeah.
Then and one of the really good things about Starlink is you can move things around, you can change plans. If the breeze blows, you can change your plan. And you can game it such that...
Or they can change your plan.
But you can game it like, okay, I know I'm going to this month need a whole lot of data. So you wait till like a week before the end of the month, and then you sign up for the unlimited data plan. Well, then you only pay that prorated amount for the end of the month. And now you've saved a bunch of money and still gotten all the internet you want. So there are ways of gaming Starlink too.
But it's a full-time job.
Well, no, I mean, there's some people, they put value in this kind of having fun with stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's the deal. Like I say, at the moment, we're using our Winegard system, and the Starlink is parked and in the baggage compartment.
But it never leaves the camper, just in case. Well, it might leave the camper if our internet goes down in the house. But we travel with it, even though we feel like we don't need it anymore. It's only been about a month, right? So I think it'll take us a fair amount of time longer before we decide we really don't ever need Starlink anymore and stop carrying it with us.
I think
it's a security blanket that's worth having in the cabinet.
For us, because we kind of have to be on the internet, because that's the way we've chosen.
Yes.
I think it'll just stay in the baggage compartment.
Yeah.
There's no reason to take it out. So that leads us to our question of the week. And our question of the week is, what do you do to get on the internet? And do you do stuff? Like, are you like, oh yeah, I gotta be on and this is what I use? Or are you like, I go camping, I'm not gonna be on the internet.
I leave my phone at home.
Yeah, I leave my phone at home. So let us know. We have a fun and friendly StressLess Campers Facebook group, and that's where you can ask your own questions, answer the question of the week, all that kind of stuff. So that's our question for this week. What was our question last week?
You confused me. I was like, hey, you forgot last week's question. Last week, I believe it was for you to relay kind of the funny now story.
Yeah.
Your funniest kind of getting into a campground story. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. I have hardly been on Facebook, which is weird.
Well, we've been at the Balloon Fiesta.
We've been at the Balloon Fiesta, and we've been really, really busy trying to catch up with work. I'm not sure how many of you have answered.
Oh, dear.
I hope that a lot of you have, but all I'm going to say right now is go check out StressLess Campers Facebook group and read however many funny stories. I know I wrote a funny story. So there's at least one story there for you to read. And I think I saw some others, and I just can't tell you if there are more or not because I don't know. Another way to keep in touch with this, of course, is to make sure that you are signed up to receive our once a week fun and friendly group and fun and friendly newsletter, right? That comes from our website and links to our website. It reminds you every Thursday morning that there's a podcast out. It tells you about other things that have been going on in the world, in the RV world, camping world, not camping world, but in the life of camping. And also ask the question of the week to give you a reminder of what else. And also, we've told you this before, there's some things that show up in the newsletter that we don't talk about. Like if we are having a contest for things, that's only in our newsletter,
stuff.
Free things. And if you want to know where exactly we're camping at any given time.
Oh, yeah.
That calendar is only available by a link that we send you in the newsletter. It's not something that we really, really want public, but we want you all to know, because if you want to join us somewhere camping, we don't want to forget to tell you that we're camping until we're gone, and then you're like, well, I was right next door and you didn't tell me.
Yeah, that's the fact
So
check.
sign up, all that to say, sign up for the newsletter. You can do that on any page of the website, and we don't send anything but once a week, and we don't sell your address to anybody else.
Yeah. Also, we have a list of our favorite RV products, including the kind of stuff you want to get when you're first camping, and our favorite things that we use or that we really like. And there's a list of that.
We've also
at our
mentioned
home on the web.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no.
We've also mentioned a bunch of times that there are things in the show notes And if you don't know how to do the show notes, go to StressLessCamping.com. Look for the picture of a Winnebago talking on a microphone. That is our podcast page. And each episode has its own page, and all the notes, links, all that stuff is in that page.
Yes, it is. Anyway, on our favorite products, there's a lot of stuff where there's discounts and deals too.
Oh, right. Sorry about
that. So that's okay.
Also, when you've seen all those things that I keep interrupting about on the StressLessCamping.com, you can go to all the social places where you can find us, and there's all different kinds of things there. So check us out, and if you're not sure where we might be, look at the links on the top right of our website, and that'll tell you all the social places we are, which is pretty much all the social places that we've ever heard of.
Pretty much, yeah.
We are really happy that you are either listening or watching. If you're listening and you want to make sure that you don't miss any of the episodes, be sure whatever podcast app you're using to hit subscribe so that it will remind you every week to listen. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks again. We really appreciate the subscribes and the likes and the shares, especially the shares, because that makes our family bigger, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we want, a big, happy family.
Absolutely.
And of course, you can also share onto your social pages anything that you find on our website. You just copy the link and post it in the socials. That is really, really helpful for us
Very much
as well. So again, thank you very, very much for being here. We are home for a minute, which is kind of exciting. We're going to have a new shower in a day or two, which is
that's what
also very
gutting
exciting.
the bathroom. So if we stink the next time you see us, then know that shower repair did not go well.
But that's why we have the one in here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
we have a backup plan.
Have a really terrific week, and we will see you next Thursday. And in the meantime,
Stressless camping. Because again, oh my gosh.